Welcome back to another unusual money-making video, our 12th video in the series. We've now tried over 75 different unusual ways to make money in-game. Some good, some not so good, but they're all a blast to try nonetheless. If you didn't know, in this series you guys send me weird and unusual money-making methods. I try them out and rank them on the unusual money-making leaderboards. Some of the methods I'm trying out today blew my mind. I could not believe how much money I made. If you have a method you want me to try out, send me a Discord DM, a Twitter DM, or let me know in the comments section below. And while you're down there, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, let's make some money. Up first is a method that will not only make you money, but also save you money as well, and that's checking out Honey. Imagine there's an item you really want to buy on your account. You head to the Grand Exchange, look up the item, and realize it's just slightly too expensive for you. You get a bit sad, but all of a sudden you see a message on your screen saying that there's a coupon for this item and you can get it for cheaper and save money. Well, that's exactly what Honey does. Honey automatically searches for promo codes and coupons so you don't have to. I've been using Honey for years and I've saved money on dozens of different websites. It's by far my favorite online shopping tool. The process is super simple. You go to check out an item, Honey searches for promo codes, tells you how many were found, and will automatically apply the best ones to your order. Clothing, video games, food delivery, you name it. Honey most likely has a coupon for it. It works for things you're already buying on websites you're already shopping on. You're saving money. What's not to love? You can get Honey for free by going to joinhoney.com/SoupRS or by clicking the link in the description. Up first, we have a method from Streddle. In all caps, he says, unusual moneymaker 1.5 million GP per hour. All caps, high profit per hour. This method might qualify as insane. So, what does he want us to do? His method is buying Bandit's brews from the Bandit Camp. He noticed that the brews were consistently selling for around 2,000 GP with a daily volume of 700. So all we have to do is just keep buying the brews from the shop, bank them, and repeat the process. The Bandit Camp isn't exactly easy to get to, and he recommended that I use a Camulet. The Camulet teleports us just south of the Bandit Camp to the Bandit Camp Quarry. The thing is, the Camulet only has 4 charges, and the only way to recharge it is to use the Uktanki dung on it. Is that how you say it? Uktanki? I don't know. Unfortunately, it's not a tradable item, so what you have to do is go to Alcarid, talk to the camel in front of the bank, and ask him if you can borrow some of his shit. He eventually agrees, and a funny little scene happens where you have to close your eyes as he takes a dump on the desert floor. Now, you just need to use some buckets on the dung, and you have yourself some Uktanki dung. Getting a full inventory of it took like 3 minutes. So now that we have lots of charges for our Camulet, we can try out the method. The brews start at 650 GP each, and if you buy out all 10, they'll end up costing around 800 GP. Per world, we're spending about 8K. From here, it's pretty chill. I bought myself an inventory, teleported to a bank, banked everything, and repeated the process. Now, here's the thing. When I first looked on the wiki at the daily volume of the brews, it was only at 73. I didn't want to do this for an entire hour and end up not being able to sell any, so after 5 minutes, I skeptically took the 107 brews I bought, listed them for about 1800 GP each, and they all sold. All of them. Instantly. For 198K, meaning we profited about 100K in 5 minutes. Okay, good start, but I was still skeptical. There's no way they would instantly sell again, right? Well, this time I did it for 25 more minutes and ended up with 455 brews, and they all instantly sold again. 844K. Well, at this point, I had way more confidence that they would sell again, so I finished off the final 30 minutes to round out the hour, sold the remaining 469 brews, and once again, they all instantly sold. Over the course of the hour, we sold 1,031 Bandits brews at 1,838 GP for 1.155 million GP. That is insane. Bandits brews. This method is now a top 5 unusual moneymaker of all time. But why are people buying these? Well, my theory is that there is an individual out there merching Bandits brews, but I don't know why. They give a temporary boost to thieving and attack by 1, and temporarily decrease strength and defense. You do need one for Desert Treasure, but during the quest, players have to buy one for themselves. They can't just bring one with them. I don't know why this made us money, but it made us a lot, and for that reason alone, I'm a very happy man. Thank you, Streddle, for the great method. Nicholas says that if you have excess GP and Privdinus unlocked, buying Cosmics is like 10 million GP an hour. Okay, that's a bold claim. 10 million GP an hour. That would automatically make it the best moneymaker in the game. I always love finding out about shops in the game that offer items for cheap that you can then flip on the GE for profit. Prifddinas is great for this because it's such a high level area and has many shops that offer items you can't find anywhere else. These items are actually usually cheaper than anywhere else as well. So, to the method. Head to the rune store in Prifddinas, buy from the shop, hop, and repeat. That's the method. If you get lucky, you'll find the max amount of 250 cosmic runes in the shop. I quickly found out that the original 1 million GP I bought wasn't enough, so I ran to the bank and grabbed an extra mil. Now, I did have competition for these cosmic runes. Many times the shop would only have 50 to 150 in stock, so there were other people doing this. After 1 hour, I had 25,994 cosmic runes. This cost me 1,511,000 GP from the shop, and selling them on the GE made me 2.911 million. So subtract the 1.5 mil from that and we profited 1.37 million GP. Hold up, you're telling me that we found two 1 million GP an hour methods in a single unusual money-making video. That's crazy. But this method doesn't end there. Looking back at Nicholas's comment, he said that you should do it on an Iron Man account with excess GP. I didn't realize it at first when trying this out, but Iron Men have a different shop interface than normal accounts. That way Iron Men don't have to compete or be trolled by main accounts when using shops around the game. This means that there may be even less competition for these cosmics on an Iron Man, so that's what I did. I hopped on my Iron Man account, you guys all know Bond Waster, brought 5 million GP with me, and instantly saw that almost every world was at the max amount of 250 cosmic runes. After only a minute, I had 1,000 cosmic runes. It stayed this way for about 5 minutes until I started running into the same problem. Competition. Even Iron Men are buying out these shops for cosmic runes. I went from seeing 250 cosmics in every world to about 50, so I stopped after 30 minutes with 15,170 cosmic runes, which cost me 895k. I drop traded them over to my main, sold them on the GE, and profited 846k. So doing this for an entire hour would have almost made me 1.7 million GP. There's definitely more profit to be made if you have an Iron Man account available to do this. Now, what's the max amount of GP I could have made from this? Let's say every world had the max amount of chaos runes and I'm able to buy 1,000 per minute. This means that after the hour was over, I'd end up with 60,000 cosmic runes, which would cost me 3.36 million GP. I'd be able to sell those cosmic runes for 6.6 million GP, which means with max efficiency and luck, this method could profit us 3.2 million GP an hour. The thing is, I don't think the shops restock runes fast enough for us to do an entire rotation of world hopping buying out the shops. Most likely they'd have around 150 restocked by the time I come back around to them. But even if I were to only buy, let's say 40,000 cosmic runes, I'd still be profiting over 2 million GP an hour. This is insane. One of the best methods we've ever come across. Instantly a top 3 method. Now, I don't know what Nicholas was talking about with this whole 10 million GP per hour. Cosmic runes are very cheap compared to what they used to be. Earlier last year, they were close to 200 GP each, which would put the method close to 4 to 5 million GP per hour. So if you guys ever see the price of cosmic runes rising, you know where to go. Back-to-back banger methods. I think that deserves a fat old like on the video. Next up, we have a new type of method that I've decided to come up with for some of these methods you guys send me. It's called a bond upkeep method. These methods are going to be quick ways of making money. Let's say 5 to 10 minutes that can help you maintain a bond. Yes, you could always buy battle staves if you wanted to, but that's boring and everyone does it. Barry's method is way cooler. He says that charging tridents can make you a nice 300k per 4 tridents charged. Because of the buy limit for runes, you can only charge 4 tridents every 4 hours. So starting with 10 mil, I bought myself 4 uncharged tridents, 10,000 chaos runes, 10,000 death runes, and 50,000 fire runes. Charging the tridents is very simple. Just use the runes on the trident and add 2,500 charges. The tridents and runes cost me about 3.15 million GP. I then sold those tridents for 3.4 million GP. So we profited 250k in less than 3 minutes. Just to make sure I didn't get lucky, I did this method again later that night, and this time profited 260k. So I made about 500k for about 5 minutes worth of effort, just like Barry said. Doing this twice a day for 14 days will net you around 7 million GP, easily enough to buy a bond and maintain your membership. This is actually better than buying battle stabs, which at the moment only profit you around 135k. So if you combine the trident and the battle staff method, you make about 8.9 million GP every 14 days. Lovely method. I always like finding out about quick profit methods that are consistent and quick and can help players grow their cash tag day by day with very little effort. Very great method. Up next, we have a method from David and Penn. Their method is picking up the drops from people who are AFK killing the Firewatch Sentinels in the city of Darkmire. Most of the time, the people here are fully AFK and don't worry about picking up any drops. That's where I come in. I turn into that annoying looter that takes other people's drops, and I'm all for it, baby, as long as it makes me money. Since you're right next to a bank, it's a fairly chill method. Put on some Vire Noble clothing and try to find a world with multiple people, at least 2. If you get lucky, you'll sometimes find 3 people, but there are plenty of worlds with 2. Ideally, try to find a world with one of these Justiciar guys. They just rely on their tankiness to stay alive and don't worry about prayer, so they're almost always fully AFK, and they leave the most amount of loot. The people who are praying have to worry about prayer, so they're more likely to check their screens and pick up anything valuable. The main reason we're here is for the Vampire Dust, which is always dropped by the Sentinels and is almost always never picked up by the people AFKing. The dust can be used in the Hollowed Sepulchre to gain prayer XP, which is why they have a fairly decent daily volume and should always sell quickly. So, find a world, chill for a bit, and the loot will start appearing. For me, the first things to appear were 14 Blood Runes, 20 Adamant Javelins, and 2 Vampire Dust, worth 8.1k. 8 minutes later, we had a full inventory, worth 40k. We had a whole mix of items ranging from runes to coal to bark, some rune items, and of course the Vampire Dust. Each inventory of loot took around 8 minutes, we had to hop a couple of times to find a new world, and at one point we found 3 people AFKing. The absolute jackpot of a world, but that only lasted about 5 minutes since one of them left. After 1 hour, our loot totaled 180,000 GP, and after selling it on the GE, we ended up with 165,000 GP. This method is pretty high requirement since you need access to Darkmire, and there's the off chance that you could end up with some decent drops, but for the most part, you'll be getting about 40k in inventory. Thanks fellas for the method. Wesley comes in with another unusual moneymaker. He wants us to high alch charged bracelets of Ethereum. They high alch for 45k and can be bought off the GE for 43.7k. Just add an ether to it and boom, you profit. So Bracelet of Ethereums do in fact buy for 43.7k, and they most likely will always be around this price because of their alch price. 1 Revenant Ether costs 126 GP, 1 Nature Rune 212 GP, and 5 Fire Runes 25 GP. So in total, we're spending 44,063 GP for a charged Ethereum bracelet, and then we alch it for 45k, so about 1k profit per alch. I decided to test this method with 100 bracelets of Ethereum, and I also decided to use Briaphida's staff, which has a 1 in 15 chance to not use a nature rune when alching in order to potentially save us a bit more GP. Now, while I would love to just chill and spam alch all the bracelets at once, it's not really possible because you have to charge the bracelets one by one individually. So that means opening up the bank, taking out a single ether and bracelet, combining the two, then alching. The process is quite a bit more click intensive than just simply alching noted items in your inventory. But for those of you who are looking to profit while alching and gain magic XP, this method might be for you. 100 charged bracelets of Ethereum took 10 minutes to finish alching and profited us 97k. So doing this for 1 hour would profit us 582,000 GP as well as 39,000 magic XP. This is a high profit method and ranks very highly on our list. I do find it very strange that the alch price goes up 1.8k from the uncharged version to the charged version. I feel like there's some sussy baka stuff going on with that, but I'm not complaining. While it is click intensive and may not seem that appealing to some of you, you can't deny that it is weird, makes you great money, and even gets you magic XP. Solid. Taylor says that the best unusual moneymaker is easily panning for gold and trading the nuggets. I don't understand why people aren't there botting. I don't know if this is a sarcastic suggestion, but the method is definitely unusual, something a lot of you might not know about. If you head to the southeastern part of the dig site and pick up a panning tray, you can fish for golden nuggets. You may remember during the dig site quest needing to fish for a special cup. Well, after the quest is over, you can continue to fish in that spot with the panning tray for a couple of interesting items. 5 specifically: coins, uncut opal, uncut jade, oysters, and nuggets. The drop rate estimates are thanks to the OSRS wiki, and I think if I do this for an entire hour, I can further confirm these drop rates since nobody else does this. All you have to do is click on the fishing spot, and once your panning tray is full, search it, and you have a chance to get any of these items. You also get some fishing and mining XP. The nuggets can be traded in for gold ore to the archaeological expert at the exam center. So how did 1 hour of panning for gold go? We ended up with 51 oysters, 47 jade, 57 opal, 344 coins, and 61 nuggets. With the nugget loot, we're looking at 33k. To turn the nuggets in, you just need to use them on the expert. Every 3 nuggets gets you 1 gold ore, so 61 nuggets nets us 20 gold ore. This boosts our total profit to 38k. Wow. We also got 1,102 XP in mining and fishing. Selling everything to the Grand Exchange made us 36.8k. So was this worth it? Not really, but the method is super weird, which I absolutely love and is exactly what I'm looking for this series. I still don't think this is worth botting like Taylor said, but again, sometimes sarcasm is hard to figure out through a YouTube comment. Last episode, we tested out chilling at Temple Ross and picking up all the loot that was dropped. This time, Duncan wants me to try this at the fishing trawler. He recommends that if you're going to do any bank standing activity like herblore, fletching, or alking, you might as well do it at the fishing trawler on the official fishing trawler world. When each game ends, you run over and grab an inventory or 2 of fish and then go back to your skilling activity. This method is pretty chill. Just like Duncan said, you can bank stand at the fishing trawler bank, and every time you see a mass amount of people appear next to you, you know the recent game of the trawler has ended. Everyone will run to the net and collect their loot. Some people keep their loot, some people drop it. About a minute after the game ends, the loot will appear and you can just spam click away on the ground, hoping you get some good stuff. Mainly raw sharks, raw sea turtles, and the raw manta rays. Sometimes there will be people there also trying to pick the fish up, so you have to have some quick fingers to get the good stuff. But sometimes you're there all on your own, so you can usually get a couple inventories of free fish. There's about a 5-minute period between games finishing and the loot appearing, so you have plenty of time to go AFK and relax and skill between the loot appearing. After 1 hour, I'd collected a decent amount of fish. The big ones being 67 manta ray, 22 sharks, 24 sea turtles, and 72 swordfish, as well as some other raw fish. In total, we sold all the loot for 142k. For a method that only has you paying attention every 5 minutes or so and lets you train other skills while you do it, I'd actually recommend this if you're doing anything bank standing related. Cheers, Duncan. That's it, everyone. As usual, thank you to everyone who submitted an unusual moneymaker. If you guys have a method you want me to try out, make sure to leave it in the comments below. Or the cooler thing would be to join my newly furnished Discord, discord.gg/SoupRS. Link is also in the description. It's the best way to get a response from me quickly. We do a bunch of cool things in there, so make sure you guys all hop in. Also, make sure to check out the unusual money-making leaderboard, since I've been getting sent a lot of methods that we've already covered. Like I said, we've done over 85 methods now, so it's kind of scary, but who knows how many methods are left. I really never want this series to end. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you all again for watching, and make sure to check out last video as well as the previous unusual money making video if you missed that one. It should pop up on your screen any second.